we are going to discuss about Google Display Network campaigns. Before we get into what or how to launch Google Display Network campaigns, do you know what Google Display Network is at all? Let's find out about that. So, Google Display Network is Google's network of websites and apps that include millions of websites and apps that you use on a daily basis. But it's not just limited to that. It also includes Google's own properties, that is, YouTube, Gmail, and other properties within its network. So, how does Google actually go about using the Google Display Network? How does it have millions of websites and apps within its whole network of the Google Display Network? Google uses something called the Google AdSense program. That is, even if you have a website or app that you drive traffic to, you can use it to monetize your website. That is, you are allowing Google to run ads on your website as long as you're getting paid for it. So Google allots certain slots on your website or certain spaces on your website where you can run ads. That is, you are allowing people, you're allowing advertisers to run ads on your website and you will get paid for it. It's a win-win for both, right? So through this, advertisers can target contextually. Suppose your website is about sports. If there's a business who's selling sports equipment, they can definitely use your website to target certain individuals who are interested in sports. Likewise, it can be anything. It can be something as broad and generic as just clothing, everyday clothing. So this helps both the advertiser and the website. Now let's look at a quick example of what is GDN or how does it look like. So here you can see the space which is circled, that is an ad by McDonald's and an ad by another site. So this is when I visited the Times of India website. Regular websites that you use on a daily basis that have high traffic are often used by Google Display Network to target their ads. For example, Times of India is a site that lakhs of users use on a daily basis. So you're getting to place your ads on such websites and websites that people use on a generic and daily basis. So here you can see that McDonald's has used it and another site as well. So here the ad by McDonald's was actually a video. So you can use both a video and image ad. Of course, the details of which I'll be coming to in the coming slides. But it is not just limited to Times of India. It is other news websites, sports websites, blogging websites, and some of the websites with the highest traffic. And did I mention apps too? So now you know why you should use GDN as your campaign type while using digital marketing. So now we'll go to why GDN. I have quickly listed down a few of the many reasons why you should use Google Display Network campaigns. So the first reason is it has one of the largest reach of any display network. Of course, there are other display networks as well, but Google, being Google, has one of the largest chunk of the share within the display network. So GDN claims to have a reach that includes 90% of the world's internet user base. I think that should be enough, right? For any digital marketer. If you are getting access to 90% of the internet user base to target, that's definitely should be on your list. That is one reason why Google Display Network is one of the prime types of campaigns that every digital marketer needs to run. The second reason, Google Display Network has a host of websites and apps and placements that receive the highest traffic. So out of the highest traffic websites that the world receives, Google has access to over 60% of those websites and apps that see the highest traffic every day. A few of them to mention would be YouTube. YouTube itself is Google's property, which you have access to, and you know the kind of traffic that come to YouTube every single day. YouTube and other popular blogging sites like Blogger are among the list of the top traffic websites that Google has access to. Other than this, like I mentioned, there are 50 to 60% of the highest traffic websites you get access to through using the Google Display Network campaigns. The third reason, out of the many targeting options that Google Display Network has, the most powerful way to use it is to contextually target your audience, which is not always available in every type of campaign. So in Google Display Network campaigns, you can contextually target your audience. Say you're targeting a sports enthusiast. You know the kind of communication that you can use for a sports enthusiast. You can use placements such as top sports websites, or you can use interests or topics that are related to sports. So this way, you're reaching out to the customer in a more efficient way. You are talking directly in the customer's language. Similarly, if you have any offers specifically for certain types of demographics, you can target customers within that demographic. Or if you want to target parents or college goers, you can always do that. We will go into the details of the targeting options in the coming slides. So you can stay tuned and wait and watch there. Now we'll come into what are the types of GDN or the Google Display Network campaigns. Predominantly, there are two types of GDN campaigns. One is the standard display campaign, and the second is the smart display campaign. What is the difference, you may ask? In standard display campaign, you have a host of targeting options. You can target via demographics, you can target placements, you can target via topics, you can target the audience list, similar audiences. The list goes on. Of course, we will see the details of each targeting options, one in the slide and two while I'm showing you how to set up the campaign. But the difference in smart display campaign is that it is completely automated. You just have to give Google the assets, that is the images or the videos and text, and Google decides whom to show the ads. So in this smart display campaign, you don't have to worry about the bid type, the bidding strategy, the kind of audiences you target. All you have to do is give Google the landing page, the assets that you want to promote, and Google by itself understands whom to show it best. So how this works, this smart display campaign, how this works is that Google understands your landing page insights, your search campaigns, what is working for you. And with those insights, Google automatically auto targets people who are most likely to convert for your business. Whereas in the standard display campaign that we mentioned earlier, there are again two subtypes within that. So one is the display ads and the second is responsive display ads. So within that campaign, there are two types of ads that you can launch. The responsive display ad is where you can provide text, that is the headline and description. You can give images, that is different types of banner sizes that Google supports. You can provide them. You have to give the logo and also video assets. So it's a combination of text, images, video, and the logo that you use in responsive display ad. Google combines all of these to see what works best for your campaign. So Google automatically analyzes, is it a video plus text that I should be using? Is it an image plus text, or is it just an image that Google should be using? So Google understands that, and that's why it's called a responsive display campaign. It responds to how the customer would prefer or what kind of website, what content works best, and basis that it creates a display asset for you. Whereas in a regular or just display ads, all you have to do, you have to provide image assets. So here Google gives the sizes and formats that are supported. Of course, there is GIF, there is a JPG, there is HTML5 that you can use. There are different sizes within that in which you can use. There are no video assets or text that you can use in display ads. That is the regular display ads that I'm talking about. We will look into the nitty-gritties of it while we are launching the campaign. There is one more type of campaign within GDN that I've not mentioned here. Why would I not mention that? Because it's called Gmail display campaigns. The reason I have not mentioned that is that Gmail display campaigns, according to Google, is slowly moving out of the display campaign type. This is why Gmail campaigns are not mentioned in this specific video. We will look at it once I show you the dashboard as to why Gmail campaigns are moving and where it's moving to. Will you still be able to target Gmail as a separate campaign or a separate ad type? Let's now move into the types of targeting. This is one of the most crucial part of the GDN campaign. Here you have a variety and a host of different targeting options that you can use to excel at your digital marketing strategy. The one that you choose completely depends on you, the type of business you are in, the kind of goals you want to achieve. So it's completely up to you to decide which targeting you want to use. But I will go ahead and explain what are the different types that you can use, what are the mixes and matches that you can use within targeting in Google Display Network campaigns. So the first is demographic targeting. So here you can target different demographics, different age groups. You can target people within parental statuses, marriage statuses. So if you want to target college goer students, you have that option to target that specific demographic of people who are going to college. Or if you want to target married people, if you're looking at, say, kids clothing, then you would want to target married people. There you have that demographic of targeting certain segments, that is married people. There are various other options, that is gender or age group type targeting, which we look at in detail when I'm showing you how to set up a GDN campaign. The second is affinity targeting. There is a popular saying that there is only one person who knows you more than your mother, and that's Google. You would know because Google literally understands you in and out. Google knows what you're searching, what are the locations that you're going to through Google Maps. They understand your search history through Chrome. There are different touch points in Google that we use at a daily level. Google even has access to your emails, through which there are tons of information of what you like, what you don't like, what you recently purchased, where you're moving into next, which is the location that you're currently in. So through this, Google is able to create affinity audiences. That is, Google has audiences based on interest and habits. So if you want to target people who love golf, you have that affinity within. People who have that interest for golf. If you are a business that sells golf clubs, you can definitely use an affinity targeting of people who like golf. Or if there are certain habits that you want to target, you can definitely go ahead and target them using affinity. So this is Google's way of targeting people who are most likely to convert for your business, who have that specific interest in that product that you are selling. The third is in-market audiences. So what Google also knows is people who are actively searching for the product that you are selling. So in-market audiences are audiences that have a little more higher intent. When I said affinity audiences, those are audiences that have an interest towards the product. But in-market audiences are audiences who are actively searching for your product. So those are the audiences who have a higher intent, those who are actually looking out for something that you are selling. So there could be in-market audiences such as people who are searching for digital marketing courses, or people who are looking out for certain shoes. So these are different types of in-market audiences that are available within Google. And the sub part within that is life events. So if you're looking at a real estate product, then you can target people who have recently moved out. So they could be someone who is looking out for a new home, or someone who recently graduated out of college. You would want to target them for certain courses. So those are in market and live event targeting through which you can effectively show your product to a prospective customer. The fourth part is remarketing. Remarketing is an essential part in most businesses today. The reason being, today the digital marketing world has transformed, and with this, there are multiple touch points needed for the customer to remember you. You remember that time when you went on a casual shopping spree or a window shopping spree? You just looked out for certain products and then you were like, never mind, I'll buy that some other time. It's important for that business to have a remarketing list and remind you that you left that product in their cart, or that you visited this product. Now we have a sale for that product. So using remarketing, it's an effective way of showing customers who have showed interest in your business at some point in their journey. So remarketing is a very warm audience when compared to like an in-market or affinity audience who are completely new to your business. Whereas remarketing are audiences that have visited your website, or people who have shown some interest, viewed your video, who have played a game in your website. So it completely depends on your website objective, but those are the audiences who have interacted with you. Of course, it's for you to decide how they have interacted. Have they visited your website? Have they added your product to the cart? Have they read your blog? Have they filled up a lead form? The list goes on. For remarketing, what you will have to do, you'll have to set up an audience list on Google. That is a list of whatever action that they have taken in a said time period. The fifth type of audience is similar audiences. What this essentially means is that they are quite similar to your audience. It's quite self-explanatory. If you create an audience list, say you create a list of your purchasers, that is, people who made a purchase in the last 60 days. You give Google that list and you tell Google, I want to identify people who are similar to this audience. Similar audiences are as basic as that. You give Google a list of audiences and Google tries to find people who are most similar to it. People who match similar interests, people who have similar behavior, who have similar purchase intent. The sixth type of audience is custom audience. Custom audience, like the name suggests, is something that you create. You could tell Google that my potential customer is someone who would search for these type of keywords. That is, someone who would search for digital marketing courses online, or someone who would search for digital marketing training online, or someone who is looking for a Google Ads certification. You give Google the type of keywords that your customer is, or a prospective customer is searching for, and you can also give Google a list of competitor websites that your customer could be visiting. So through this, Google makes a custom combination of the said filters that you give and creates an audience. Through this, you can get a high intent audience. You can get audiences who are actively searching for your website, people who have visited your competitor website. We will look at the details of it while we're launching a campaign. The last type of targeting is content targeting. Through this, there are three subtypes that you can actually use. You can look at targeting people who are searching for a particular keyword, or you can target people who are visiting certain topics. Say, you can use the topic of digital marketing and target people who are actually reading about digital marketing. If you are an agency, you provide digital marketing services, you can target topics related to digital marketing and technology so that people who are interested in digital marketing might actually go with you. You can actually use placements also. So through placements, you can target certain websites, you can target YouTube channels, you can target YouTube videos. So here what you can do is, if you have a list of places that your customers are visiting regularly, a website or YouTube video, YouTube channel, you can place your ads there. How more effective can it get? You know where your audience is visiting, you place your ad there. It's as simple as it gets there. Before we get started on how to launch a Google Display Network campaign, there are a few prerequisites. The first being, you will have to understand your objective. So this is quite basic and quite fundamental, something that everyone needs to know before starting their digital marketing campaign. You will have to identify your objective. What is the end goal that you're looking for? Are you looking at brand awareness? Are you looking at website traffic? Are you looking at leads on your landing page? Like, you could be a real estate company that is looking at leads, or you could be a car company that is looking at leads or test drives. Is it direct purchases, that is a sale that you're looking at? So there are different types of objectives. So before starting, you need to understand what your objective is. That is when you can unleash the complete potential of your digital marketing campaign. The second is a landing page or a website. So creating a landing page today isn't very difficult. You can get started with a WordPress website or just have one single landing page. There are multiple websites for that. Even some of them are free. So through that, you don't have to have an in-depth technology or a coding experience. You can just get started and create your own landing page. But this is absolutely necessary for you to launch a Google Display Network campaign. You will have to have a website that you will need to enter to get started with a campaign. The third is display assets. What are the assets that you want to show your prospective customers? Is it a text? Is it an image? Is it a video? Of course, text and video are only available on responsive display campaigns. So what is that asset that your prospective customer needs to see? So you need to first collate that asset. You need to get those images ready. What are the sizes that Google supports for display campaign? You need to get that in place and then get started with your campaign. The fourth is a Google Ads account. So you need to have a Google Ads account, and that's quite self-explanatory. That is, if you have to launch a Google display campaign, you have to launch it on Google Ads. So all you need to do is go to ads.google.com. It's a simple procedure. You just have to set up your payments, and then you can even start with a very small budget. I think the minimum budget is about 500 Indian rupees, and you just have to make that payment and you can get started with your Google Ads as soon as possible. The fifth one is an audience setup. So this is only needed if you are looking at setting up remarketing. So if you are a business that has been running for over a few months, say you just have been running for about 30 days or even lesser if you want, you can get started and set up your audience as well if you're looking at remarketing to your customers. But that is not really compulsory for this video. You can skip that process as well, but it's always good, even when you're starting out, to set up your audiences as well, so that at a later stage you can reap the benefits of your campaign. So I hope I've set the basics quite clear. I hope you've gotten a quick understanding of how we can use Google Display Network campaigns, why you need Google Display Network, and the amount of reach, the capacity of GDN, the power of Google that you can unleash through Google Display Network. Now, what are we waiting for? Let's quickly have a look at how to set up GDN campaigns. Now you are looking at my Google Ads dashboard. This is my sample account where I run demos of Google Ads campaigns. So here we are in the overview tab where we can see the overview of the last all-time data. So I'm looking at all-time data. So I can also filter the data over here, last 7 days. So I haven't run any campaigns in the past 7 days. So you can see that there's nothing here for the past 7 days. So some of you, when you start with the Google Ads dashboard, you will see a different view, something like this. But if you want to switch it, I don't prefer this view. I don't think most people use this view. So what you can do is you can click on switch view and you can come to this view where you can see recommendation, insights, campaign, ad group, all the data on the side. You have all these tabs on your left side. So to get started with a new campaign, we can click on new campaign here, or you can go to the campaigns tab where you can see all the campaigns that you have run in the past. You can filter the date range here. You can enable the campaigns by clicking on this. So these are paused campaigns. If they are green, it means that they are enabled. So I will go ahead and pause them. I don't want to spend my monies unnecessarily. So let's quickly get started and see how to launch a Google Display Network campaign. So you will have to click on new campaign and you will have to see which goal suits you best. Like we discussed earlier, you will have to find out which is the goal that's most suited for your business. Is it sales? So you have the display campaign type over here. So you can use the sales objective. That is website sales. If you are a store that allows transactions on the website, you can use the sales objective. Or do you have a lead form on your website? Are you a real estate company or a car company that wants to drive leads on your website? Then if your landing page suggests leads or it has a lead form, then you can also use a lead generation method. You can use leads objective. Or is your objective website traffic? Probably you are blogging and you want to just drive people to your website and see what content you have put out there. So here as well, there is the display campaign type available. For product and brand consideration, the display type is not available. So you cannot use that. What you can use is the brand awareness and reach. So if you're just looking at building brand awareness, you want people to see that your brand is there, put your message out there. Google has 90% of the internet users as an audience base for GDN. So you can, of course, use this for brand awareness and reach. App promotion, you will not be able to use local store visits and promotions. You cannot use display campaign type. You can see that here the display campaign type is not available. What you can also do is create a campaign without a goals guidance. Say you don't feel that it fits into any of these goals, then you can create it without a goals guidance. Or if you feel it's a mix of all these goals, if it's a mix of website traffic and brand awareness, you can use one without a goals guidance also, which is completely up to you. So here I'm going to select the sales objective. So I'll be using the Great Learning website, and I think that maybe the website sales could be an option that we could try out. Next, we select the campaign type, and in here I think it's quite clear which one to select. We have been talking about GDN campaigns, display campaigns. There is no reason why we would select any other campaign in this specific video. So we will go ahead and select display option here. So here, like we discussed, there are three options. There is a smart display campaign option where you don't have to enter the targeting or bidding options. Google completely decides it on its own. It's quite straightforward, quite simple. The steps are similar to how we use a standard display campaign, but we don't really have to deep dive too much into it because I feel that you only need some display assets for that. It's not too complicated. Once you learn how to launch a standard display campaign, it's quite simple to do a smart display campaign. It's just the same thing without a lot of steps in between. So you can just remove a few steps in between and you can easily learn how to do a smart display campaign. So in this video, we will cover a standard display campaign instead. You can also see that there's a Gmail campaign available. And like I mentioned, starting July 1st, we won't be able to create this sort of a campaign. That's why I have not covered this particular segment in this video. So you can create it in a discovery campaign is what it's mentioned. So the campaign type itself is going to be different. You can create a discovery campaign on Google and target users on Gmail. So here you quickly enter the website name. I'm just going to enter the Great Learning website. I will verify if this is correct. Yes. So this is my website. I can actually enter the digital marketing landing page. So I'll enter this specific landing page. And the conversion action by default is website sale. So I haven't really set up this specific conversion action because I'll have to place a specific tag on the Great Learning website. So if you want to create a conversion action, say your conversion action is add to cart or it is filling up a lead form, you can set up that conversion action at the back end in your website. And it's a quite simple procedure that Google has laid out the step-by-step process for this. So you can just click on install options and Google can tell you the instruction to your webmaster or install the tracking code by yourself. So you'll have to enter the code within your website and Google can tell you how to do that, and the step-by-step instruction is available here. So you can see that when you click on it, you can see that to track your conversion action you have to add these two tags. So it's quite simple. It's mentioned that you'll have to put it in the header tag of every page on your website. So you can just download this and put this said tag in your website. This is if you want to track a certain conversion event. So if you want to track number of purchases coming through this or number of add to cart or whatever action that you choose. So now by default it's put as website sale that I have entered for this particular campaign. So none of my ads are running. This is because I haven't set up payment since it's a sample account. So I'm just going to quickly hide this. But if you're looking at running a campaign, you just have to set up the payment, of course. So I haven't set up the payment in this particular demo account, that which is why the error showed up. Now let's look at the campaign name. So you can mention the brand name, that is Great Learning. But if you are running only Great Learning campaigns in this account, then you don't need to mention it in the campaign name. Say all the campaigns in this account is for Great Learning only, you don't have to mention the brand name in the campaign name format. So if you are an agency, for example, then you would have multiple brand names running in your same account. So then you would have to mention the company name or the brand name, but otherwise you don't really have to do that. So you can put Great Learning and you can put, so I'll just omit this. I'll just put it as display campaign so that when I look at the campaign dashboard, I know that it's a display campaign that is running. I'll mention the course name, which is digital marketing. I can also mention the type of campaign that I'm running. Am I running a maximize click campaign or a maximize conversion? If I want to, I can mention the bidding type or the audience targeting that I'm using. Or if there's a particular course like a PG graduate program that I'm running, I can mention that as well. For now, I'm just going to keep it simple. If need be, you can mention the date as well. So basically, it is just that by seeing the campaign name, you should understand what it entails. What is the campaign? What are the ad groups? What type of bidding it has? This is just to make your life easier. If you want to, you can just mention it as ABC, but it'll be difficult for you to identify what the campaign is. So it is as simple as that. It is completely up to you what you want to put in the campaign name. So here coming to the locations, the location by default I've entered is India. And if you want to enter a separate location or a different location, you can definitely put that. You have an advanced search feature as well. You can enter the location in bulk. So if you have a list of cities or location that you want to target just typed out, you can just enter that here. You want to restrict certain locations, you can mention that. So there are different types of location targeting as well. If you want to narrow it down or broaden it, you can always do that. You can also exclude locations. You can enter a certain location and you can target them or exclude them. can exclude or target certain locations. So this is completely up to you. You can see what suits best for your business. And there are location options here. I would suggest not to change this much. Let it be what it is by default. So this essentially means that people who are present or shown an interest in that location. So you can change it to only present in your locations, or you can exclude such people. So this is completely up to you what suits best for your business. Coming to languages, so here by default Google has selected English for me, so I can even go ahead and remove this. So if I want to show all languages, I can just remove it, or if there is a particular language that you want to put, you can definitely add that. There's a whole list of languages available here. So if you have vernacular ads, you can target specific languages here. So this is completely up to you. What are the kind of ads that you're running? So if you are running a Hindi specific ad or a Tamil specific ad, you want to show that only to those languages. So that is completely up to your business and what you are running. So here are the bidding options. So there are conversions, that is maximize conversion is the default bidding option that's selected. That is, here the conversion action that we have selected is website sale. So if you select the conversion action as add to cart, then it would maximize that particular conversion. So this bidding type depends on the conversion action that you select. So if you put the conversion action as play a game or fill a website form, then it will try to maximize that particular conversion action. So Google optimizes basis the conversion action that you have provided. So here you can even put a target cost per action. That is, you want to get conversions at an X amount. So Google has given a target CPA option as well. So you can apply this if you want to. But if you think that you can acquire customers at a lower cost or a higher cost, then you can definitely mention the amount that you have in mind. So you can even remove the target cost per action so that you just bidding on maximize conversion. So there is a conversion value as well. So if you're looking at a particular target return on investment, then you can use this bidding option. You can say that I want a 200% target return on investment. That is, I'm spending 100 rupees, I want 200 out of it. So that is the kind of bid strategy that conversion value is. You can run it for a while and see if that suits your business. Is that campaign really working well for your business? Then there is viewable impressions. That is when you're looking at more people viewing your ad. So viewable impressions are when users see 50% of your ad or more for 1 second. So this is more of showing more people your ad. So here you can also select a bid strategy directly. So Google has not recommended it, but we can still go ahead and see that. You can see how this type of bidding strategy can give you more control over your campaigns. So there is a viewable CPM, that is, it focuses on the cost per mile, that is cost per thousand impressions that you're getting. Then there is manual CPC. This is when there's a cost per click that you're bidding on, or there is maximize clicks when you want to get maximum clicks out of this ad. So here you can also select the CPC limit that you have in mind. Do you want a cost per click of 20 rupees or 30 rupees? Do you have a number in mind at all? So if you don't have a number, you can remove this, and then you can put the bid amount or the CPC limit amount at a later stage once you get an understanding as the range. So if you're getting clicks at 9 to 20 rupees, you can put it at the lower end, or you can find a middle ground and put that amount as well. So here, as you can see, there are other options as well. Target return on ad spend, like we saw earlier, you can just mention the target return on ad spend that you have in mind. A target CPA, which is the cost per acquisition that you have in mind, and you're paying for clicks or conversion. So here the option available is only clicks, and you can mention the cost per action that you have in mind. If you want to go back to Google's recommended settings, you can go back to previous bidding methods, and you can select the default one, which is maximize conversion. If you have a number in mind, you can put that as well. So let's go ahead with maximize conversions and see if that works for this particular campaign. I'm going to put a budget. So you can put a budget about 500, 5,000, whatever works best for you. I think a minimum budget that Google allows for payment is about 500 rupees, and you would want to see some results. So this amount that I've mentioned is in Indian rupees. I have put 500. If you have more budget to spend, you can go ahead and add that. If you're just looking at testing out as to how to run a GDN campaign, you can enter this amount and just go ahead and pause the campaign later. But do remember to pause the campaign later. I'll show you how to put an end date to it as well, so that you don't end up overspending your budget by mistake. Or if you are actually testing out, it's good to put an end date as well. So here you can see the additional settings, that is ad rotations. You can optimize, prefer best performing ads. So this is ideally suggested by Google, and even I would suggest that, because you want your best performing ads to show more, right? You don't want to rotate your ads indefinitely. So if you want each of your ad to show up indefinitely, then this is the strategy that you would have to use. So here it means that lower performing ads as well will run the same amount. So you would always want your better performing ads to show and spend more monies and more of your budget, right? So that is why you can go ahead with the prefer best performing ads. So here you can mention the ad schedule. For starters, I would suggest that you can leave it blank. You can leave it at the default one, that is all days and all timings. But if you think that there are specific days that only work for you, or specific timings that work for you, you can go ahead and add specific days or times. So you can put Monday to Friday or Saturday, Sunday, only the weekends. So see what works best for you. I would suggest to keep it open in the starting. Maybe you run it for a week or 2 weeks, and then you understand which are the days and timings that work best for you. At that point, if you want to, you can go ahead and add an ad schedule. So here you enter the start and end dates. The start date is June 27th. I will go ahead and put an end date, because this is a test campaign. I don't want to end up spending my budget in case I forget to pause this campaign. Although you know that the payment is not set up in this particular account, so I don't really have to worry about it. But just to be on the safe side, I'm going to enter an end date as well. No harm, right, in entering that. But if you are looking at running the campaign for a longer time, or if you don't have an end date in mind, say that I'm going to run it till whenever it works, I just want to see how this campaign is working, then you don't have to put an end date. But if it's a particular campaign, say the offer is only running this month, so you can definitely put an end date so that your ads don't show post that. So this is just to make your life easier, basically. Moving ahead, coming to the devices, you can show it on all devices for starters. I would suggest this. But if you have any specific targeting devices in mind, you can set that. You can put computers, only tablets. So I would suggest using all. You can even go ahead and select certain device models or operating systems. You want to select Windows or iOS or Android, go ahead and select that. But I would suggest to show on all devices, because at first you don't know what really works for you. It's very important to understand what works for you. Maybe you don't really know what your ideal customer, it could be an iOS user, it could be an Android user, maybe you're not sure yet. So it's best to try out all devices and then take a decision. Once you have gathered enough data, you can take a call whether you want to pause certain devices, if you want to bid higher on certain devices. So that is your call at a later stage. Coming to the campaign URL options. So this is essentially for you to understand and track where the conversions came from, which campaign it came from. So if you want to look at your backend data and really map that with the Google Ads data, then you can put some URL parameters, that is a UTM parameters. You can put the campaign name, campaign ID, so that you are able to see which campaign the conversions came from. So I'm not going to enter this at the moment. And if you have a dynamic feed that is available, you can always use that. So this is quite prevalent in e-commerce. A lot of e-commerce stores use dynamic feeds as well. So this is something, if you have that dynamic feed setup, you can definitely show personalized ads to your customers. Here the conversion event, like I mentioned, is by default website sales selected. And if you have any other conversion actions in mind, you can go ahead and set that up and you can launch that as well. So for this video, we are going to use the default account level conversion, which is website sale. Coming to content exclusions, if you want to exclude certain content, you can go ahead and do that, but this is completely your call. There is no specific way to do it. So if you want to, you can remove tragedy and conflict, sensitive social issues. But ideally, if you don't have any restriction as such, it's best to keep it open so that you understand what works best. It's best to keep it quite broad, but you would want to remove some sensitive content if that doesn't suit your business language. So it's quite self-explanatory. You can see the different content types available, see which doesn't suit for your business, and you can go ahead and exclude that. Coming to ad group name. So here you can mention what is the targeting that you're using, or what is the audience that you want to target. Different types of things that you can mention in the ad group name. It's just to make your life easier so that you understand what is used in this ad group. So you can just say that digital marketing new users, or if you have that particular audience that you're going to target in mind, you can definitely mention that once you select it. Of course, these are changeable. You can change it at any point of time. So that's no issue. So here you can see that we will be targeting digital marketing users. So there are options such as education. So if you want to, you can select the education in market audience. So this is available already. So there are related audiences as well shown, that is healthcare education, nursing education. So there is 10 billion to 1 trillion impressions every week that you can see through this sort of an audience. So I personally feel that this audience is quite broad for our course, digital marketing course that we're selling. So I'm not actually going to select it. I just want to show you guys how that works. So here you can see that there is an audience called digital marketing courses. There is a custom intent audiences that is auto created. So we haven't created it. So this is created by Google. You can see that 5 million to 10 million impressions every week. So you can go ahead and open this as well and see what is it that Google is targeting here. Internet marketing course, marketing courses, online marketing course, marketing classes, digital marketing, online course. So these are the kind of keywords that Google is targeting through this custom intent audience. So here, if you want, you can target some technophiles or online courses. This is quite relevant, I feel like. But again, it's quite broad. So there's marketing degrees, people who are searching for marketing degrees, masters in marketing. So this program is actually a program in strategic digital marketing. So you can definitely use this sort of an audience, a custom intent audience who's looking for marketing graduate program. So this is quite relevant. So like this, you can just see and scroll what works best for you. Is there something else in marketing that I have missed out? So people looking for marketing strategies could be, right? I think we can add that audience as well, who's looking for online marketing company, online marketing business, maybe. we can just try that out and see if that works for us. So these are all custom intent audiences that are auto created by Google. So you can go ahead and see what works over here for your business. But other than that, let's look at what other targeting options are available within audiences. So who are they? What is your audience look like? Are they parents? Are they married people? If you have an understanding of who exactly your audience is, if you are a business that is selling clothes for kids, then you would want to target married people. Or it could be that even single people are gifting it to friends or relatives. But I'm just thinking out loud here. So it's for you to define what your business is targeting or who your audience actually is. So here Google has a variety of options for that as well. So if you're looking at targeting current college students, you can go ahead and do that as well. Looking at bachelor degree holders. So since this is a PG program, I might want to target bachelor degree holders. So homeowners, renters. So if you are someone who is targeting real estate, then you can have a home ownership status as well that you want to look at. So here we can look at the interests and habits that they have. That is the affinity audiences. So are they interested in banking, beauty, wellness, home and garden? So there is a host of options available over here. So you will have to deep dive into this a bit to understand if your audience is actually within this. So here you can see that there is nothing specific to digital marketing as such, but if you're looking at targeting a broader audience, you can definitely look at some of these interests. But for now, I think I will keep it just to the custom intent audience that we have seen so far. This looks far more relevant to me, in my opinion. So here we can also see the in-market and live events. That is, what are they actually searching for or planning? So here the in-market audiences, there is again a host of options: apparel, accessories, auto and vehicles, baby and children products. So if you are a business in any of these segments, you can definitely target these audiences. Let's look at education. Is there anything related to our programs? You can look at study abroad programs, but we are not into study abroad essentially. So maybe we'll skip that. Test prep and tutoring. So this is again a different bucket of audiences. So maybe we will skip that as well. If you think that any of these fit your business, you can definitely go ahead and target them. Maybe I want to target college graduates, right? Life event is a college graduate, or like a job change, someone who's looking for a job change, maybe. So when I'm looking at life events, so if I want to target such audiences separately, I would ideally target them in a different ad group with a different communication. So if I want to target people looking for a job change, then I would say that maybe, are you looking for a job change? Digital marketing has this much potential, a lot of jobs open in digital marketing, it is the future, etc. That sort of a communication. If I'm looking at targeting college graduation, people who just graduated, I can have the communication that digital marketing is the next big thing. This is where you need to step into as a new career and things like that. So that depends on, if you're targeting different types of audiences, I would suggest to keep it as different ad groups or campaigns and then have different communication strategies for them. So here we are looking at remarketing and similar audiences. So I currently have not set up my audiences. So what you can do is that you can set up the audience visitors. So you can set up audiences in Google, which is quite simple. You just have to set up the number of people who visited your website, who purchased, or who took certain action in your website. So Google is showing me some numbers here, but I think that these are all zero because I have not set it up. So for example, if you're targeting your remarketing users, you would want to target them as a separate campaign or ad group. You don't want to combine it with new users. So you'll have a different communication for them. And this is essentially for that. So if you have a audience that you have set up, you can of course go ahead and click one of these, and you will have to, I would suggest to use it in a separate ad group or campaign, because combining new users and remarketing would not be the best approach. So here, if you have audiences created, there will also be similar audiences created by Google. So similar audiences mean that audiences that have similar interests or behaviors as to the ones that you have provided. Say you give like purchases audience, that is people who purchased in the last say 6 months, then Google will create a similar audience of people who could purchase or who have similar behavior patterns compared to your purchases. So this is a good way to target new users as well. So here we have combined audiences as well. So combined audience essentially means a combination of the audiences that you have created. So it could be that you created an audience of people who visited your website in the last 6 months, but you don't want to target the people who already purchased. So you can create a combination of people who visited your website but did not purchase. So that is a combined audience, which means that you're looking at a particular segment within your website, or you can define how the combination actually works. And here we come to custom audience. So custom audience, there's already a digital marketing custom audience created. So here you can see that this is an audience that I had created earlier. So this, let's look at this custom audience. So here what it means is that I'm looking at people who searched any of these terms on Google. So I've entered these keywords: digital marketing free online course with certification, digital marketing institute online courses. So people who search for these keywords are definitely people who are on the look for digital marketing courses. So that is why I have entered these keywords. So any of these keywords, if you feel like there are other keywords that are converting on your Google search, you can definitely use them. Or if you can just go ahead and try and test what works best for you over here. You can also select people with any of these interests or purchase intentions. You can expand this further by selecting certain websites. If you think that there are so and so websites that your customers frequently visit, or if it's someone who's looking for shoes, you know that he's visiting a competitor's website or a blog site that talks about shoes, you can definitely enter those websites. So this involves a little more research from your end as to where your customer is present, and this research will definitely pay off, because this can help you build a high intent audience that you can really target and benefit in your business. You can use people who use, say, different types of apps or visited certain places. So on the right side, you can see audience insights for the same. You can see the weekly impressions. What kind of gender does this audience fall under? Like people who are searching for these keywords or have these purchase intentions are 71% male, or 61% within this age group, that is 18 to 24, and 90% are non-parents. So through these insights, you also get some understanding of who your audience is. You know that parents aren't really taking this course, so you can look at targeting people who aren't parents. So this is completely your call to take. You can still keep it open and then see what works best for you. So I'm using a mix of all these audiences, but you can always try out different things. Maybe you would want to use just one or two of these audiences, and probably you want to use all of these audiences, and probably a week later you will see which of these audiences are working best for you and then take a call. So here you can see that you're getting about 500 million impressions and about 640 clicks with the budget that you have mentioned. The conversions are unavailable. Target CPA or the average CPA is unavailable. Post this, what you can do is you can select the demographics. You can go deep dive into the different types of demographics. If you did understand that 71% are male, you can exclude it, but this is not the best way to do it. Maybe you can let Google decide if there, maybe it could be that there is a lower amount of audience within the female segment, but you could see a higher conversion. So this is something that you will understand only after launching the campaign. So it's best to keep it open. If you think that people within 45 to 64 will not convert for digital marketing courses, you can go ahead and skip that. So this is completely your call on how to keep it. So you know that parents don't really fall under the digital marketing custom intent audience. So you can remove that if need be too. But again, you would lose out on some impressions. If you want to show it to maximum number of people, you can keep it open and take a call later. So here we come to the content targeting. You can use different mixes of content targeting. You can use keywords. So keywords, you would mention certain keywords and target them. So Google has automatically suggested some keywords and the relevance of them as well. So Google is saying that course master is a keyword that is 99 relevant, that is 99 on 100 is the relevance score of it. So there are low relevance keywords as well. So you can go ahead and select any of these, or you can enter your own keywords. So you can even show content that is only show ads on websites, apps and videos related to these keywords. So you can go ahead and refine it further. So I'm going to leave it blank because I've already put some targeting in place. The topics that you want to mention, so you can go ahead and put certain topics as well. So this is highly useful when you want to make your targeting a little more contextual, you want to make your ads a little more contextual. So if you are a health related brand, you want to show it on websites that are related to health. So this can help you make it a little more contextual. You know that the audiences are visiting that website looking at health related content. Your brand or product or service becomes a little more relevant when you make it highly contextual. Similarly, if you are a pet food company, you can target topics such as that. So this is completely up to you. See what works best for you. And the third one available here is placement. So this is crucial for your business. If you think that there are certain placements, that are certain YouTube videos that my audience visits, certain YouTube channels, you can go ahead and put a list of it. I think personally that this is something that's very useful if you know where your audience is visiting. So if you can collate a list of websites, YouTube channels and YouTube videos that your audience is likely to visit, then you can go ahead and enter that in bulk as well. So you can just copy paste the entire list altogether here. You can look at the different websites. So you can even search manually. So you can search digital marketing and see what are the websites that actually come up, what are the YouTube channels that come up. You can go ahead and see, you can see what are the YouTube channels that come up. You can use the YouTube videos in there. So the YouTube videos and channels, I would suggest to target the ones with high traffic, high subscribers, high number of likes, so that you get more visibilities. So when you're targeting videos which are old or have like very less number of views and likes, you would see lesser impressions. Google might not end up spending your budget. So if you're looking at targeting these, you can upload a big chunk of it and see what works best for your business. So I'm not going to enter any of these for now, and let's just look at the other options available. So there is targeting expansion option available. So this essentially means that you can slide it to the right and increase your reach. But you don't want to increase the reach if that reduces your relevance or reduces the targeting that you are using. If it's showing to irrelevant audience, then it doesn't make much sense. So I'm just going to leave it as is and then see what works best for me. So here by default, Google has suggested a responsive display ad. I can go ahead and change it to a standard display ad as well. That is upload display ads. But I'm going to leave it at responsive display for now. Let's see how this works. So Google is suggesting this because it increases your reach and saves your time spent on creating different versions of ads. Okay, Google, let's go ahead and try the responsive display ads. So here the URL is the one that I mentioned earlier. I can go ahead and change it if I want to. And there is the images and logos. So what Google does is Google is scanning my landing page to automatically find the images that would work best for me. So Google has given me some images already, so I can go ahead and use these. So there are two dimensions, that is the landscape one and the square one. So the square one doesn't look too great for me, so I'm just going to omit that. I'll just select this one ratio. There is one image here as well. So here I can select the landscape, and the square one I would want to crop it a bit more to, so this looks a bit better. So I'll select both. Actually, I'll remove the square one. So here again there is another image that Google has suggested from the website. Let's look at the square version. The square version is okay. Yeah, this I might select this. So similarly, you get the drill, right? You just have to select some images. So Google is suggesting 15 images and 5 logos to use in each ad. So this Google is doing just to make our lives easier, but you can always upload your own ads. So that way you have high clarity ads that are showing up. Your logos are of high definition so that your ads really stand out. So that would really help your business excel and show your ads in a very vibrant manner. You can use some stock images if you don't have images at all. So Google is again making your life easier by doing this. You can select some images that work best for you. So this is again a test that you have to do and see what works best for you. Here you can see the assets that I have selected currently, and I will go ahead and save this. Since this is just a test, I have just used these few images, but it is best to use all the images that Google is suggesting so that we get the maximum out of the ads that we are showing. So here you can see a preview of your ads. So usually Google also auto updates some headlines and long headlines, but somehow in this case, Google hasn't done it. So I'm just going to enter a headline. Here I'll mention online digital marketing. So here you can notice that Google has a character limit as well, 30 characters for a headline. And similarly, you can mention up to 5 headlines if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 5 headlines you can mention. So when you exceed the character limit, you can see that the value is too long. So it's for you to create some catchy headlines for your business so that it really stands out. So you can see that the headline has reflected here, and there is one headline that there's one description that Google has auto created for me. So a 90 character description. So here I'll use the same long headline. Of course, you need to change this. This needs to be different. But since this is a test campaign, I'm going to use the same. And you can mention other headlines as well. So here we are pretty much done. Here you just have to mention the business name. If there are any additional formats that you want to put asset enhancement, auto generated video. So Google automatically creates a video for you. So these are some options, but what we didn't actually add was a video. So I don't have a video asset currently. So what I'm going to do is I will search on YouTube for it. So how you need to upload a video is that you will have to upload it on your YouTube channel first. And if you don't want to make the video public, you can keep it an unlisted video and then put the link here. So here I'm just going to search for a great learning digital marketing video as a test. Since this campaign is not going to run, I think that's fine. So I'll put a 1 hour video will be too much for an ad. So I will put the 11-minute or the 9-minute video. So I'll use the 11-minute video. Ideally, your ad should be a minute, 2 minutes, something like that. So try to keep it short. This is just a test. So I've put the 11-minute video. So let's see, this can be one video, but Google is also suggesting a portrait and landscape video of 30 seconds. So 30 seconds is the timing that Google is suggesting. I've gone ahead and used a 11-minute video. Let's see how that works. But since this is a test, it's completely fine, but I would suggest to keep it maybe 30 seconds. 30 seconds is a good time. 15 to 30 seconds is a good time frame, but otherwise you can keep it 1 minute or whatever works best for your business. So you can see the auto created video that Google has provided. I have not entered this video. Google has also put the video that I have given. So now let's look at the URL option. Similarly, you can put the tracking template. If you have any UTM parameters, you can add that here. Let's see what more options are there. So there is a call to action text. So that could be really helpful. So I will put something like learn more or apply now. Let's put it as apply now. So you can choose the language as well for your CTA. So we are pretty much done here. I hope these assets are enough. Because Google shows that the ad strength is average because I haven't given enough assets. So I've just given one video and videos looks fine, but images I haven't provided any. Google is not happy with that. I haven't given enough headlines and descriptions. Let's look at what ideas Google is giving in headline and descriptions. So there are no suggestions currently, but usually Google does provide some suggestion on that. And description as well is quite blank. So Google is not happy with that. So it's ideally you would want to fill up all of these, all 5 headlines, 5 descriptions, at least 2 descriptions, I would say, and use that to actually make a strong ad. You would want to provide some image assets as well. That is at least one square and one landscape is what Google is suggesting. Let's see if Google accepts my ad. So I've gone ahead and used it. So this was a responsive display ad. Let's look at one display ad as well so that you know how to use that and what's the difference. So this is the display ad, and here there are some supported sizes and formats that you want to look at. So ideally you would want to use all of these different formats so that you have a really appealing ad so that you can reach maximum number of websites. So here again, Google is suggesting a responsive ad, but this is just to show you how this works. I will just upload one ad and see how this fares. Let's add that. So display ad is quite simple. No text, no video, just all the banners that you have, you need to upload them. Let's see if Google accepts my campaign. So here we can see that Google has said that my campaign is ready. So congratulations on watching this video and thank you for watching it. I think we are about there, just one step left, and we have created our first Google Display Network campaign. Continue to campaign. So yes, we are inside this campaign. You can see that display digital marketing is the campaign. This is the ad group. You can click on the ad group to see your ad. So there is one responsive display ad. So you can see the ad type here and one image ad that I have. So these are both pending and in review. You can see the relevant metrics. You can see clicks, impressions, CTR, conversions. You can even change these metrics in the column section. So based on whatever works for you, you can select the type of metrics that you want to see. You can even look at the audiences. So probably a week or so from the campaign, you would understand which are the audience that are giving you higher clicks, which are the audiences that have higher CTR, higher conversion rate. So these metrics will help you understand which audience is actually working best for you. Maybe even see the demographics, the different types of combinations within that, the parental status. So all these metrics by Google can help you understand which part of your campaign is working best, and based on that you can take a call. Thank you so much for watching this video by Great Learning on how to set up a GDN campaign. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this video, and I hope that you do launch your GDN campaign today itself. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you soon again. Thank you.